Now this figure 18-59 deals with when do you have to consider control circuits current carrying. Now you notice in the illustration we have three power circuits in the conduit supplying the motor, along with three number 14 control circuits. And each one of those control circuits, as you see in the illustration, carries 1 amp each. Now, we're wanting to know in this figure 18-59, are we carrying more than 10% of the ampacity of the control circuit? Now, to verify this requirement, we go to step 1 and we have our calculation performed. 725.51B2, I guess that's around page 635. And then 310.16 is around page 161 of the code book. And notice we pick up a 10% rule of 15 amps. Now that could be from the 60-degree column in table 310.16, or it could be based upon 240.4D as in dog, that a number 14 conductor cannot have more than a 15 amp overcurrent device ahead of it, without it happen to be a load that appeared in table 240.4G that we've talked about in previous illustrations in this chapter 18 in Stallcup's design book. Now, volume 2, by the way. Now, after we do the math, 10% of 15, we come up with 1.5 amp. And in the solution, 1 amp is all we have on each control circuit, so we have not exceeded the 1.5 amp. So we only have 3 current carrying conductors in the raceway, and although we have 6, we only have 3 current carrying, so no derate or reduction of the ampacity of the conductor required. Now another key section you see in the illustration is 310.15, and we can pick up E3, we can pick up E1, and that E is on page 160. And we're looking at 300.15E. And let's just say you want to know if a neutral's current carrying in a 4-wire 3-phase Y system. Well, we would review 310.15E, and it says, well, if the major portion is not, say, harmonics, linear type loads, then it wouldn't be current carrying. So that's considered 50%. So for example, if you had in the illustration as you see there, the conductors coming in, terminating that main, let's just for example say that L1, L2, and L3 is there, and then we have that neutral. And you had 100 amps on L1, L2, and L3 load. 50% of 100, if you was above 50 amps, then you could be considered current carrying, and you'd have 4 current carrying conductors, and you would have an 80% derate of the ampacity of those conductors, reducing the ampacity that you could put on those conductors, for example. A lot of folks get mixed up. Well, this major portion, is that say over 50%? Well, a good illustration of this rule is in 400.4A. Now that's basically on page 250 of the NEC. On the right hand side of the page, up toward the top, the 50% rules applied there, and they dropped major portion there and inserted over 50%. I look for them to do the same here with some proposal that might come in. As of yet, that hasn't been done, so if you want to see that major portion and that 50% rule, go to 400.5A on page 250, and it's illustrated there. Now, you're either at 10% for control circuits or 50% for a neutral. That is the rule there. That's the general rule that we look at. So that's what this figure 18-59 is illustrating here, is when is the control circuit considered current carrying.